Good morning, everyone. In today's class, I will teach you chapter number 2, class 9, computer science. Chapter number 2 is basically based on hardware. The chapter name is hardware, and the topic is it is covering chapter structure is introduction, categories of the computer hardware, memory, primary storage device, secondary storage device, input and output devices. You know how I teach. The way of my teaching is I always share a screen for you so that everything is visible onto the screen. So I'll share a screen for you, and then I will open the pages I have already scanned. The screen is shared now. I will open chapter number 2, which is stored, I think, in E drive. Last 9th and chapter 2. So I'll start with the first page. And again, today we'll have the reading session and the explanation session today. And then I'll go for the question answers. First, I'll complete the chapter. As I told you, the structure of chapter is introduction, categories of the computer, hardware, memory, primary storage devices, secondary storage devices, input and output devices. Now here it is given introduction. A system is a group of various components that work together to achieve a specific goal or target. For example, in your school, teachers and administration members work together for the success of students. A school may therefore be called a system of students, teachers, and administrators working together so that a student can clear examinations after attaining the knowledge. Similarly, various components of a system work together to achieve a single target, that is to process data. That is why a computer is called as a system. The computer mainly consists of hardware and software. Both of these components work together to process data. Okay, now as I will explain this part, as you know, to work for any system, suppose we are, our system is a school, take an example. It requires students also, teachers also, administrator also. And all these people, they all work together. And what is the motive to run a school or these people work together? So that the students learn something here, and after gaining the knowledge, when they appear for examination, they should perform well. That is the main goal. So why even same way in computer, when we are working with computer system, that computer system does not means only the hardware part, that only CPU is there or keyboard or mouse is there, but it integrates with many different parts. And the basic two categories we can say of computer is, one is hardware, another is software. Okay, so I will come to the diagram which is given on this page. Computer is basically divided into two parts. One is hardware, another is software. The parts of computers that can be touched and have some weight are called hardware. Very simple definition, such as you have your CPU. Now, when we call CPU, actually a CPU, the definition of CPU is central processing unit. It's a unit into that part which is like you call it as CPU, the computer. Then we have a screen, and then we have a keyboard and mouse, etc. But that CPU, that part which is the main machine, contains CPU also, contains card also, contains memory units also, RAM, ROM, and other devices are also attached. Hard disk is attached, and different ports are also attached with it. So it's given here the parts of computer that can be touched and have some weight are called hardware. The term hardware is used to refer to all components inside or outside the computer. In addition to this, component used to interconnect two or more computers, for example, wires are also regarded as hardware. Okay, they are giving very basic definitions. I am talking of ports and all. We have several hardware devices that are used at various phases of data processing cycle. The hardware that are used to supply input to computer are called input devices. The hardware that are used to process the data are called I'll go for the next page. Next page are called processing devices, and the devices that are used to present output of computers are called output devices. Each of these categories have a broad variety of devices of various brands and qualities. In this chapter, we will study the hardware, categories of the computer hardware. Okay, so I think there's no problem till here. We'll go for a fast revision here of chapter page number 1, introduction. As I told you about the system, to work any system, different things are required. Same way in computer, when we work with computer system, only not one CPU is required, rather many more devices are also required to run a complete computer system. And then they have given here the parts of computer that can be touched and which we can touch, feel, okay, that has some weight, okay, that takes some space, is considered as hardware. So hopefully this point is clear to you. Then we'll come to the next page, and here they have continued processing devices. A device now with computer, you can connect camera, you can connect printer, you can connect modems, different devices you can connect. Now we'll come to the categories of the computer hardware. Hardware consists of all the machinery and equipments in a computer system. The hardware includes, among other devices, the keyboard, the monitor, the printer, and the box. The computer or processing devices itself. The categories of the computer hardware are given. Now see, focus on this. System unit, input output unit, storage unit, storage devices, storage devices. These are the basic 4 parts they have given, the categories. So we'll start with the system unit. The system unit is also known as case. It is the box that houses the processing chip. Normally, the case which is visible in front of it, the box which is available in front of it, we normally call it as CPU, central processing unit. But now they are explaining is it is the box, that is system unit, that houses this box, this unit, this case houses, that keeps the processing chip, processor chips, that is CPU, central processing unit, the memory chips, that is RAM, ROM, and the motherboards with power supply unit, SMPS, switch mode power supply, that I will, if definition is there, that I will explain. That has a fan also. So SMPS device, that is a power supply unit, is also there, that controls the flow of current, how much current is required, how that provides to that device, that is SMPS, provides that to a system. Normally, when many times when computer is not working, that time SMPS device is failed or there is some problem with SMPS also, then only the current is not flowing properly to the system and the system is not working properly, or it will not start at all. Now here as well as some is written. The system unit is also known as case. It is the box that houses the processor chip, CPU, the memory chip, and the motherboard with the power supply, as well as some secondary storage devices, floppy disk drive, hard disk drives, and CD or DVDs. Now we'll come to the next point here, input output unit. Input hardware consists of the devices that allow people to put data into the computer in a form that the computer can use, for example, keyboard and mouse. Okay, input and output. So we'll start with input hardware consists of the devices that allow people to put data into the computer. If you want to enter something in computer, you have to use input device. For example, keyboard and mouse. So using keyboard, you normally type the text, okay, and using mouse, you also select certain things, or that also works as input. You press, we click on it, and then we go to the location and so on. So that's considered as input device. Output hardware consists of the devices that translate information processed by the computer into a form that humans can understand. For example, print, sound, graphics, or video. Print is means printer here. It's written here print, but actually this is printer. Sound, sound means here speaker. They can understand the example is in print. So who will print the hard copy? That is the printer. Who will provide you the sound? That is the speakers. Graphics. So who will provide you or will work with that? The graphical devices are there. Or videos, that is the monitor or screen. We have video, that means videos are basically the monitors or screen to get, because on screen only you display some result. So these are the example. Monitor, printer, speakers are the examples of hardware devices. They provide the features. They print value, print text, print graphics, print pictures, etc. That is on paper. That is work. That is known as hard copy. Graphics. So graphical devices are also there. That is used for plotting, and plotters are there, and different devices are there. Video, that means to display video, we have monitor, and that's known as, sometimes monitor is also known as VDU, visual display unit. And to get the sound, we use speakers. Come to the storage. Within the motherboard, in the system cabinet, the memory chips are installed and secondary storage devices are connected to them. The memory chip deal only with temporary storage, secondary storage, or permanent storage. It stores you data as long as you want. Okay? The memory chips deals only with the temporary, secondary storage as permanent. Storage stores your data as long. Now, two things are there. One is primary memory and the secondary memory. So RAM is your primary memory, random access memory. It is also known as volatile memory. So that when you switch off your computer, all the data stored in RAM are lost. So to store the data permanently for future use, we store the data into a secondary storage device. And the secondary storage device are your pen drive, CDs, DVDs, and the most important is hard disk. Hard disk drive basically stores all the data which you work with a computer system is stored into a hard disk. Here a memory chip they have displayed here, that's a RAM chip. Okay. Next we'll come to the point here. So I'm going each page, and once all these pages are, I have explained to you, once I will explain each and everything, then only I will give you question answers, fill in the blank, true, false, etc. For today's student purposes, you will need at the minimum a floppy disk drive. is using floppy disk drive, this is all outdated. A hard disk drive, okay, that's required, and a CD DVD drive, that also you can say somewhat required, but that's also not much in use. CDs and DVDs, of course, is used nowadays, but slowly we are going for some other storage devices. Hard disk is of course there. If you work with the large files, you will also require a zip disk drive. These storage devices, these storage devices slide into the system cabinet from the front and are secured with screws. So, like if you want to attach a zip disk, okay, or you can attach a CD or DVD, then that has to be installed into that main case. And through the cable, it has to be connected to the motherboard or the ports provided for it. Okay. Also, each drive must be hooked up to plug extending from the power supply. Okay. Now, devices. You must be familiar with the term peripheral devices. A peripheral device is any component or piece of equipment that expands a computer's input storage and output capabilities. In other words, a peripheral device is not essential part of the computer. Peripheral devices can be inside the computer or connected to it from the outside. For example, printers and disk drives. Okay, I repeat, you must be familiar with the term peripheral device. A peripheral device is any component, any hardware part is a peripheral device or a piece of equipment that expands a computer input, storage, and output capabilities. In other words, a peripheral device is not an essential part of the computer. Peripheral device can be inside the computer, connected to it from the outside. Example, printer is not an essential part of the computer, or scanner is not an essential part of a printer. So these are the some devices or the peripheral devices we call, which are later attached. Some camera is attached or some more devices are attached. So they are considered as, example is printer, and then you have a camera, then you have a external modem devices. You can say you can add your router also, or you can say you are adding some plotter, scanner, etc. So they all are not the essential parts, and that's why we have used the term peripheral devices. जो peripheral हमें जो prefer करेंगे, हमें ये use करना है या नहीं करना है, that all depends. Next is your memory. There are two types of storage: primary and secondary memory. Primary storage is temporary or working storage and is often called the memory or the main memory. Secondary storage, usually called just storage device or storage memory, is relatively a permanent storage. Memory refers to storage media in the form of chips, and storage refers to the media such as disk and tape. Now you should remember, disk is a random access device, but actually the term is not exactly random access device, but it is a pseudo random access device. And tape is considered as sequential access device. I will not go into the detail of pseudo random access device and how the tape works sequentially and all that. So that I will not teach you. But normally, for a definition part or for your knowledge, I am giving you that normally disk is considered as random access device, but I am using the word pseudo random access device. The reason is, random means each data should be randomly processed, but in this, even disk has a circular plates, but the data which appears first onto the head of the hard disk is processed will take less time, whereas the data comes after that, yeah, or just pass from the head will take little more time, and that's known as rotational delay time and all that. That I'm not going to detail just now. And tape, normally you know that when you use tape, it works sequentially. Okay. So we'll come to the next point here. Units of memory. The units of memory are, so you know that memory capacity is denoted by bits, bytes, and after that, you know, kilobytes, then megabytes and gigabytes and all that. So we'll start the first and foremost unit, the basic unit. The first unit is bit. So, you know, computer works on binary digits, zeros and ones. In electronics, zero off and one on. Flow of current, not flow. Pulse. Okay. In the binary system, each zero or one is called a bit, which is short form of binary digits. Okay. Computer is an electronic machine. Basically, it knows only machine language. And machine language is basically a binary language, that is zeros and ones. Okay. Byte. Now, zero or one is one bit. Either you call zero or one binary. Only these two bits. Whole computer system works on this system, on off or zero one. Okay. And zero one is known as bits. Next is byte. To represent letters, numbers, or special characters such as asterisk, A, B, C, D, plus, minus, okay, comma, semicolon, 9, 4, 5, 10, 8, 6, whatever it is. Bits are combined into groups. A group of 8 bit is called a byte, and a byte represents one character. Digits or other values, as I told you, it could be number also, number A, B, C, D, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 8, 9, anything that's also a character, plus, minus, comma, semicolon, all are characters. The capacity of a computer memory or of a floppy disk is expressed in number of bytes or multiples such as kilobytes or megabytes or terabytes, gigabytes, etc. Okay. So every time we say that kilobyte then megabyte, so that means a kilobyte is about 1000 bytes. 1000 bytes in normal we say, but actually the figure is 1024. 1024 bytes makes a kilobytes. Same way, 1024 kilobytes makes a megabytes and so on, which I am explaining you just now. So a kilobyte is about 1000 bytes approximately, but actual figure is 1024 bytes. The kilobytes was a common unit of measure for memory or secondary storage capacity on older computer system. 1 KB equals about 1/2 page of text. Yeah, approximately we say for the older system. But now we have the different types, different ways we represent our text. Okay. So that discussion is again a different discussion. How the fonts are stored and what are the different ways of storing a font. So that discussion I will not go. That is beyond of this chapter. Next is megabyte. A megabyte is about 1 million. That is 1 million bytes, 104857 bytes. Measure of microcomputer primary storage. I told you simple, 1024 kilobytes makes a megabyte, simple. And as they have written here, 1 million bytes. So it's written here, 1 MB equals about 500 pages. This is approximately the saying 1 MB equals to about 500 pages of text. If they are using the ASCII coding code pattern or Unicode character-based pattern, but they are using graphical pattern, then the figure will change. Next is your gigabyte. Gigabyte is about 1 billion bytes. As I saw, simple is 1024 megabyte is equals to 1 gigabyte. Okay. Main used with mainly with mainframe computer, but is typical of the storage hard disk capacity of the today's microcomputer 1 GB equals to about so many. I'm not reading it. Pages of text. Terabyte same way. 1024 MB is equals 1 GB is equals to 1 terabyte, and then you see the 1 trillion bytes. Okay, and so many pages. You go, you just read 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000 lakh, 10 lakh crore, 10 crores, and so. Petabyte. A petabyte represents about 1 quadrillion bytes. 1 quadrillion bytes. That is again a very big unit size. Now we'll come to the next part. Here you see in short it is given. That table you must remember, that's very handy. And don't think that only this much unit is there. See here exabytes and zettabyte and yottabyte. I will explain bit. Binary digit 0 or 1, byte 8 bits or 1 character, kilobyte 1000, that is actually 1024 bytes, megabyte 1024 KB I told you, then gigabytes 1024 MB, then terabyte 1024 GB, then petabyte 1024 TB. Now come to the some higher storage units. Now next, some of the higher storage units are exabyte. 1 exabyte is equals to 1024 PB, petabyte, zettabyte. 1 zettabyte is equals to 1024 EB, that is exabyte. Yottabyte 1024 ZB, that is zettabyte. Okay, yottabyte is equals to 1 yottabyte is equals to 1024 zettabyte. Monotobyte, that is 1024 5B is equals to 1 BB. Short term is BB. And geobyte is equals to 1024, BB is equals to 1 GB. GB again, that will be a confusion. So geobyte you write. So these are the different units which I was explaining you. Then comes here next, primary storage devices. A primary storage is also called main memory. The two principal types of memory chips are RAM and ROM. Random access memory and read-only memory. RAM chips. RAM chips to temporarily store program instruction and data. Random access memory chips temporarily hold software instructions and data before and after it is used or processed by the CPU. I will explain you sequence. You can, so before going ahead, I will explain. When we enter some data into computer, then what happens there? As there is input buffer, it goes to the input buffer. That is, it goes to the RAM, we can say directly. And then from RAM, and all this function on the controls are done by central processing unit. So first the data will go to the input buffer, or you can say the RAM, and then it will reach to the control unit, will take data to the processor for processing. Then again, the data is sent to the RAM for storage purpose and then sent to the output buffer or output devices. That is the basic procedure which I am explaining you. So it's written here, random access memory chips temporarily hold software instruction and data before and after it is processed by the CPU. You can think of memory, that is RAM chips, as a collection of boxes, each of which holds a single byte of data. Because its contents are temporary, RAM is said to be volatile. The contents are lost when the power goes off. That's why we call it as volatile memory, or turned off. We have switched off the computer also. This is why you should frequently say every 5 minutes, save your work to a secondary storage medium such as your hard disk. In case the electricity goes off while you are working, RAM allows the storage data to be accessed in any order, that is at random. That's why we call it as random access memory. I will keep my class till here only, and then in my next class I will teach you more. So just a fast recap. We have started with the chapter structure, and I have given you a computer system like any other system which has different parts in it. A computer system also has different parts. Basic are the two parts, that is hardware and software. Hardware are those parts which you can touch, which you can, uh, which occupies the space, or it's written one more word here, touched and have some weight. That is your hardware. Then the softwares, basically software, I think they have not explained in just now, but softwares are the instructions or the programs given to a computer system. These are the basic two parts. Then we have come to the categories of hardware, which I've already explained to you. And once we are going to the parts of or the categories of the computer hardware, we divide it into four parts, that is system unit, input unit, and storage unit devices. System unit, जब हम system unit की we are talking of system unit. So the cabinet which you are in front of you, or the case, the box, which is normally we call it CPU, but actually it is not a CPU. In this case, CPU is also there, but not only the CPU, other chips are there, motherboards are there, and an power supply unit, that is SMPS, switch mode power supply is also there, as well as some secondary storage devices, floppy disk drive, etc. is also stored in it. Then I have explained about the input and output unit. I'm not going to repeat it again. Storage devices. And then I have told you this is another important part, that is units of memory. This you have to learn, can learn easily through here the diagrams given. Okay, units and description. So this much I have taught you today. Take care of yourself. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye.